Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. So the most important news and editorial of the day that is relevant for the preparation of civil services examination will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 9th of January, the first important news that is sovereign green bond. This is from the explain page of the Indian Express. Second, 17th edition of Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. We'll see the detail and theme of this edition. Third, Prime Ministers to flag off luxury Ganga cruise. This will be the world longest cruise that will be operating. Fourth, PMO reviews situation in shrinking Josimat town. Some of the concern has been raised with regards to this town. And the last is an editorial avoiding further delay in conducting the census. Apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further delay, let's get started. And before I begin this session, those of you who are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do press a like button. So starting the session with the first news, that is sovereign green bond, something important for general studies paper 3 under the subtopic that is Indian economy and issues related to planning, mobilization, resource growth and development. This is very much relevant for the prelims examination, although a direct question in the prelims examination can be framed either as 2 statement or 3 statement questions. So recently the Reserve Bank of India or the RBI has announced that it would for the first time come up with the sovereign bond, green bond, and the total worth for this bond which RBI will come up will be of 16,000 crore rupees. This will be issued in 2 tranches, that is what the RBI has said. 8,000 each will be there, so that sum up to total to 16,000 crore rupees. And as per the RBI, it will issue these green bond for the tenure of 5 year and 10 year, right? And of Rs 4,000 crore rupees each, that will be on January 25th and February 9th. So these are the timeline upon which RBI will be releasing the issuance of the sovereign green bonds. Now about green bond, how it is relevant and what exactly is there in the green bond. So as the term defined, green bond is a debt instrument, right? Which is a capital and being raised for the green fund project. Basically, there are 2 kind of project that is there. First is called the greenfield project and the other is the brownfield project, right? तो greenfield project उस project को कहते हैं जहाँ पे constructions work scratch से होती है, it's from scratch, and brownfield is a more of a renovation kind of work or work that overtook some construction. Right? So brownfield is not a complete, it's not a scratch work that is started. So renovations part and even some redevelopment part is known as brownfield project, right? So greenfield project typically it include things that are related to clean energy, right? Clean transportations, sustainable water management. तो ये कुछ वर्क जो किए जाते हैं इसके लिए जो बॉन्ड क्रिएट होती है that will be known as a green bond. So green bond are usually issued by any sovereign entity. Now इस conditions में RBI इस eligibility को fulfill करती है. Any intergovernmental group, alliances or corporate. So this can be again a factual information very much relevant for the prelims examination. UPSC can directly ask you कि कौन-कौन से entity है जो green bond को issue कर सकते हैं. The framework for the sovereign green bond was issued by the government on November 9, 2022. What is the importance of green bond, right? Why the green bond is going to be relevant in Indian context or Indian market? So over last few years, the green bond has emerged as an important financial instrument to deal with the threats of climate change and related issues. Now at the global level also, there were a lot of meeting that was in. अगर बात करें कुछ important meeting, it is COP26 and COP27, where India has advocated its commitment to reduce the global emissions. तो उस चीज को ध्यान में रखते हुए green bond काफी ज़्यादा significant होंगे, right? And according to the International Financial Corporation, the World Bank Group institutions Climate change threatens the community's economy and poses a risk to agriculture, food, and water supplies. So these are the threat that is being posed by the greenhouse gas emission and also because of the climate change. A lot of finances is needed to address these challenges, and it is critical to connect the environmental project with capital market जहाँ पे investors की अगर बात करें, and the channel capital towards sustainable development. Green bond are the way to make a connection. Definitely this will be acting as a financial tool that will be bridging the between the government institution and the institution that is delivering to ensure कि जो सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट के प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं उसकी कंस्ट्रक्शन या उस पर ज़्यादा सक्सेस मिल पाए. Now, what is the benefit of the investment, and for basically for the investor, how it is going to be beneficial for them? So, green bond offer a platform to engage good practices, influence a business strategy of the bond issuers. They provide a means to hedge against the climate change risk while achieving at least similar if not better return on the investment. So there are a lot of tools that is being used in the investment industries to gain profit, but among them green bond are something that has a substantial or moderate amount of interest. In the way, the growth in the green bond and the green finance also indirectly works for the disincentivations of the high carbon emitting projects as per the international finance corporations. Now, गवर्नमेंट की क्या रोड मैप है इस कंटेक्स्ट को, और इस कंटेक्स्ट में देखते हुए इवन इफ यू बीइंग आस्क्ड इन मेंस एग्जामिनेशन, अगर आपसे मेंस में पूछी जाती है डायरेक्ट सवाल, देन यू कैन इजीली एबल टू आंसर दैट व्हाट आर द गवर्नमेंट इंटेंशन इन दैट रिगार्ड. सो in August last year, the government said that it stand committed to reduce the emissions of the greenhouse gases of the GDP by 45% from 2005 level by 2030 and achieve about 50% of the cumulative electric power installed capacity from the non-fossil fuel based on resources by the same. The Union Budget 2022-23 made an announcement to the sovereign green bond. So this was an announcement which was made basically इसकी अगर announcement की बात करें जो last budget आई थी उसमें ये announce भी की गई. The current climate action have so far been largely financed by the domestic resources and it's not targeting generations for additional global financial resources. Now, the issuance of sovereign green bond will help the Indian government in tapping the requisite financial and potential investor for the deployment in the public sector project which aims to reduce the carbon intensity for the economy. तो ऐसे projects जो viable projects होंगे, green projects होंगे, sustainable projects होंगे, that is also not contributing a larger part of the emissions will be something incorporated as a issuance by the green sovereign bond. तो ये सारी important points है जो कि government के road map में already include की गई and this is how the government of India will be moving ahead. Now, there will be where they will, the proceeds that has been generated, where they will go. So the government used the proceeds of the sovereign green bond to finance the refinance expenditure on the various green projects which include renewable energy. सबसे important projects की अगर बात करें, renewable energy is among them, followed by clean transportations, energy efficiency, climate change adaptations, sustainable water and waste management, pollutions and preventive control and green building. So these are some of the work, the sectors, the priority area upon which the government will make the investment from the sovereign green bond and to finance this project. A renewable energy investment will be made for the solar, wind, biomass and hydropower projects to ensure that the construction for these things are being aided and a world-class infrastructure is being built. Moving to the other news, that is the 17th edition of Pravasi Bharati Divas, something important for General Studies Paper 2 under the subtopic that is bilateral regional grouping and agreement involving India and affecting India's interest. The 17th editions of Pravasi Bharati Divas convention will be held in Indore. This is in Madhya Pradesh and the venue become important for many other competitive examinations. The 16th edition of the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas convention was held virtually due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So after COVID-19, this will be the first in-person meeting that is going to be held. Now, theme क्या है इस बार की 17 प्रवासी भारतीय दिवस की? The theme is diaspora, that is a reliable partner for India progress in Amrit Kal. Many a times, this type of theme is going to be important for prelims and many other government examination also. The center is organizing the 17th Pravasiya Divas convention in partnership with the Madhya Pradesh government. This is again a factually important point for examination purposes. And the inaugurations of the Youth Pravasiya Divas will be held in partnership with the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. तो ये तीन factually important informations हैं which will help you in the examination. Now, about the Pravasya Bharati Divas, why India celebrate this Divas? So, Pravasya Bharati Divas की अगर बात करें, it's celebrated on January 9 to mark the arrival of Mahatma Gandhi in Mumbai from South Africa on the day in 1950. Since 2015, the convention is being organized every 2 years to mark the contributions of overseas Indian community to develop basically and their contribution the part of the government intervention in terms of developing the part of the NRIs और उनके लिए कुछ specific program as a mark of respect the things is being organized. Now, more than 3,500 diasporas member from 70 countries will take part in the 17 editions of Pravasi Bharati Divas, which will be organized in a physical mode for the first time after 2019. Now, moving to the other part, that is Indian diaspora, value and traditions. Addressing the Youth Pravasiya Divas, the first ever event for the 17th Pravasi Bharati Divas, which is going to be held in Indore, as I told you at the beginning. The members of the Indian diaspora could learn the values and tradition of such institution and stay connected with Indian roots. And Pravasi Bharati Divas act as a very useful networking among the Indian overseas community residing in various parts of the world to enable them to share their experience in various fields, right? So a lot of Indian diaspora reside across the world and their contribution is inevitable because a lot more innovations, technology, financial sector, everything is something that has a contribution more or less of Indian diaspora. Now, moving to the other news, that is Prime Minister to flag off luxury Ganga cruise, something important for General Studies paper 2. That is the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from a design and implementations. So the Prime Minister will flag off the world's longest cruise with Ganga, MV Ganga's Villa के नाम से इस cruise को जाना जाएगा. This will be on January 13 from Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh, which is a constituency of Prime Minister. According to the official minister, the luxury cruise will cover a distance of 3,200 kilometers across 27 river system and 5 Indian state and Bangladesh. So this is again very important factual information. And you can see the intention of the government. It was a project that was built over the time. Now this will definitely call for the promotions of tourism in our country as well. And MV Ganga Villas is a cruise as a step towards unlocking a huge potential route for the tourism in our country. अब बात करें MV Ganga Villa की. MV Ganga Villa is a vessel 62 meters in length and 12 meters in width, comfortably with a sail with a draft of 1.4 meter. These are the technical specifications. There are 3 decks, that is 18 chute on board, capacity of 36 tourists with amenities providing memorable and luxurious experience. The ship follows sustainable principle as its core equipment and even pollution-free mechanism for the noise control technologies. And the itinerary for the MV Ganga's Villas has been curated to showcase India's rich heritage and even stop over for its historical, cultural and religious importance. Now, travel plan की अगर बात करें, how the travel plan will be for the complete part of this trip. According to the official statement, 51-day cruise is planned with 50 tourist spots, which include the World Heritage Site, National Park, river ghats, major cities like Patna in Bihar, Sahibganj in Jharkhand, Kolkata in West Bengal, Dhaka in Bangladesh, and Guwahati in Assam. So these are the main places upon which the travel plan will go. Now, something more detailed about MV Ganga Villas, the world's longest cruise. 51 days of travel will be there. So this is the part of the plan. 3,200 kilometers, 27 river system. You can see the map starting from Uttar Pradesh and reaching out to Dibrugarh in Assam. This will also have a route in Bangladesh as well, right? There are 3 decks, 18 suits, and some of the significant 32 tourists from Switzerland are also the part of the journey initially that is taking place. Image has also been released. This is how the actual suits or room look like, right? So this was more about the world longest river cruise which started just in India. रिवर क्रूज विशल इन इंडिया की अगर बात करें इससे पहले और कौन कौन सी क्रूज विशल ऑपरेट कर रही हैं इन इंडिया 8 रिवर क्रूज विशल्स आर ऑपरेशनल बिटवीन कैलकाटा एंड वाराणसी while the cruise movement is also operational in the national waterways too, that is in Brahmaputra. The tourist attractive activities like river rafting, camping, sightseeing, kayaking is other part of the sport that is operating in the country. The constructions of 10 passengers terminal across NW2, right, that is the national water 2 is going to have further boosted the respect of the cruise, basically the water cruise. At present 4 river cruise visual are operational. NW2 उसके अलावा NW8, 4, 87, 97 and 5 are working with its best capabilities. Moving to the other news, PMO reviews situation in shrinking Josimat town, something important for General Studies paper 2 under the subtopic that is welfare schemes for the vulnerable section of the population by the center and the state government. So recently, the Prime Minister office held a high-level meeting on the Joshimat crisis that has alarmed in Uttarakhand due to shrinking of land and crack in the houses in several places. I'll show you some images that will make you understand the gravity of the situation over there. The Uttarakhand Chief Minister has also visited Joshimat to address the situation on ground. Day after, he directed the immediate evacuation process for 1600 affected families. So these were some of the images that were released. You can see the crack easily visible here. So these were the crack that was misted. And even further apart, you can see the road crack that is there in the specific area of Joshimat. Now, what about the Joshimat location? This is where it is located, right? So Joshimat location is here. This is the location of Joshimat. And talking about the area, Joshimat is a gateway to the famous pilgrimage site like Badrinath and Hemkund Sahib. An international shrinking skiing space Oli एक बहुत ही famous destinations है यहाँ पे. And these are the major challenges due to land subsidence. And Joshimat is an important place with regards to culture, religious, tourism point of view with a lot more efforts to save it from the government end as well. Now, demand by locals. Locals ने क्या demand की है? The resident of Joshimat, the Himalayan pilgrimage town has appeared to be shrinking. The blaming the major power and road infrastructure project. उन्होंने कहा है कि जो पावर प्रोजेक्ट और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट हो रही है उस वजह से भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम हुई है एंड इवन द गवर्नमेंट शुड रीसेटल देम एंड गिव देम अ होम एट द place which is safer for their residing. Construction work in Himalaya region is the main rationale and even the reason behind this activities. So the Garhwal division is among the most vulnerable region. From 1976 to 2002, multiple government committees issued warning to stop heavy construction activities, but the state and center did not halt the projects. And as a result, in 2013 Uttarakhand flood last year in Chamoli district, they've caused the rock and ice avalanches that killed 200 people in Joshimat vicinity and damaged the 2 hydel projects. So the nature, the land of the nature and again the composition of the nature should not be disrupted with any human activities. It has to be paved off in such a conditions. Now, moving to the editorial of the day, avoid further delay in conducting the census, important for General Studies paper 2. Under the subtopic, government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from its design and implementations. So what are the things that we'll be looking into the editorial part? First, talking about the theme. The theme is about the delay in the census. Some of the important issues include use of census data, implications of the delay, census and the NPR, and the conclusion part. So, according to the Registrar General of India, the census enumeration schedule, which was about to take place in 2021, has been further pushed up till 2024 and 2025 under the further orders. And why the Registrar General of India has decided to put this on hold? Because the General Assembly election is going to be there, and during Assembly election, no census is allowed. So it's not clear whether the government is planning to synchronize the House listing operations to reduce the interval between the freezing boundaries and actual census enumerations. There is no official statement yet about the census would be conducted. Now, use of census data की अगर बात करें, it's a very important data not only for delimitation and other purpose. A lot of government programs, policies are dependent on it. So the constitutions talk about the use of census data for delimitation of the constituencies and even for determining the quantum of reservations for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. जो readjustment होती है boundaries की, वो भी census के datas and even delimitations commissions के data. However, it does not say that what should be the priority of the census, and the Census Act of 1948, which predates with the constitution, provide a legal background for several activities related to census without mentioning anything about the periodicity. Implications of the delay की अगर बात करें, the delay in the census is implications government schemes and program as a result in the unreliable estimated from the survey on the consumption of health and employment, which depends on the census data to determine policy and welfare measures. The census alone can provide populations data every village and town, and even the sample survey can provide reliable data on social demographic indicators for the higher geographical level. और डिले के अलावा बहुत सारी ऐसी वेलफेयर प्रोग्राम्स हैं जिस पे इम्पैक्ट होगी, बीट इट्स अ नेशनल फूड सिक्योरिटी एक्ट, other schemes that is related to the welfares, and some of the part that is also included that has a direct relation with census, और सारे schemes को impact. Apart from the population count, the census has been there in terms of population characterizations, housing and other amenities. The census data is used to determine the seats for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe in the parliament, state legislature, local bodies and the government services. Now, census and NPR data की अगर बात करें, decision to collect the National Population Register and census authorization was most debated issues from the census. Such controversies negatively impact the census, which has the largest administrative exercise for collecting data. The first census after 2026 would be used to delimit the parliamentary and assemblies constituencies for appropriation of the part of the parliament seats in the states as well as in the parliament. Now, if you want to conclude, see, one thing is very evident that the delay is having an impact to the mass of the society. अलग-अलग stakeholders में इसकी impact होंगी, and due to disparity in the growth between the state, there could be a changes in the distributions in the seat of the parliament. Apart from the distributions, जो finance commission की recommendations है with regards to the devolutions of fund जो की जाती है central government के through, उसमें भी काफी ज़्यादा impact होगा. The census alone can provide a data for every village, and even the data for delimitation constituencies determining the quantum of reservation, validate or reject the estimate. Hence, it is necessary that the census should be done as early as possible. Although, in practical terms, I think this will not be possible before the General Assembly elections. Now, moving ahead with the MCQ questions of the day, before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday's questions, that is for the Saturday. The correct option for the first question is C. For second question, the correct option is C. Today's MCQ practice. Consider the statement with regards to Ambedkar's Social Innovation and Incubation Mission. It aims to boost the entrepreneurial innovation among SC students and SC Divyangjan. The mission is under the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. Moving to the second question of the day, that is the Toropopex S21 is an exercise conducted in the Pacific Ocean region, and it's a biennial 3-level exercise for operational readiness, right? So do check it out for the correct option. Practicing this question will help you to get an edge over the upcoming prelims examination, and practicing a lot more question provide you clarity over a topic. So do check it out. Sare questions practice kare, and even if you can, we have a lot more other platform also where you can practice the questions. This was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.